Hello everybody, let's start the lesson with learn 200 words starting from the letter A to Z. Overview. These lessons are meant for students planning to appear for the TOEFL, GRE, SAT, IELTS exams or anyone who wishes to improve their vocabulary in the next 3 months. The lesson plan. The entire course will deal with words from the letter A to Z. Each of these lessons will cover 20 words. So, from lesson 1 to 10 in the letter C, you will build 200 words to your vocabulary. By the time you reach the letter Z, your vocabulary will be richer by 5,200 words. Isn't that awesome? And not to mention the words you already know in English. Before we start, a little bit about me. My name is Salma. I've done my BS Communications from Bangalore University. I teach spoken English and business communications. I love to travel. I love reading books. And I grow my own food. Yes, you heard me right. I grow my own food in my balcony. Please send me your suggestions, feedback, comments to the link provided below. I would love to hear from you all. Firstly, why learn vocabulary? When we know several words, we can describe an event or emotion. By sharing our ideas and opinions, you can understand what other people are saying and what you are reading. Thirdly, vocabulary is the foundation for understanding the world around us. So therefore, it is important that you know basic vocabulary as well as advanced level vocabulary to make an impact on the world around you. How to memorize words quickly? Memorizing words quickly is often a daunting task. By a daunting task, I mean it seems so impossible and very hard to finish. Sometimes we have word lists, maybe vocabulary word lists, spelling words, lines for a play that are so overwhelming that we are overcome by it. Fortunately, there are a number of methods that make the task simple and fun. So, ultimately you need to remember that knowing vocabulary will help you meet your goal and enrich your intellect in the process. So let's begin. There are 3 simple steps. First, you need to read the word. You need to check out how do you spell it? How do we pronounce it? The second step is to define it, the definition. What does it mean? How can we use it in a sentence? In what way will it make sense when it's put into a sentence? Third is actually making a sentence, and I will give you examples for all the words that I teach you, but you can make your own sentences by putting simple words and stringing it together to make it understandable. So are you ready to start? Because I am. So the first lesson would be words starting with the letter C. 1 to 20. Lesson 1, letter C. First one, cable is a noun which means a secret political clique or faction, which by clique or a faction it means a small group of people. In a sentence it would mean a cabal of dissidents. Dissidents is a name given to people who do not agree on the philosophy or on the thinking of the common people's way of doing things. Next one, cabalism is a noun which means extreme traditionalism in theological conception or interpretation. Theological means religious. Conception is to create, or interpretation is the understanding of it. So in a sentence it will read the secret science of the cabalists. Let's move on to the next one. This is easy. Cabinet is a noun which means the committee of senior ministers responsible for controlling government policy. Now in a sentence, very simple, a cabinet meeting. Easy, wasn't it? Next word, cacophony is a noun which means a harsh, discordant mixture of sounds, which means different kinds of sounds, probably the kind of noise that you may hear in your classroom or maybe even in a cricket stadium. So in a sentence, it will read, a cacophony of deafening alarm bells. Cadaverous is an adjective, and the definition is very pale, thin or bony. So in a sentence, it will read, he was gaunt and cadaverous. Cadence. Cadence is a modulation or inflection of the voice. So in a sentence, it will read, the measured cadences that he employed in the Senate. Next one, cadenza is a noun, which means a virtuoso solo passage inserted into a movement in a concerto or other musical work, typically near the end. So in a sentence, it will read, this last was pretty certainly an improvised cadenza, such a thing as I do not remember ever to have heard. So this word is used in the musical context. Next one, we have caitiff, which is an adjective. It is defined as a contemptible or cowardly person. So in a sentence, it will read, he is a caitiff knight. Next one, cajole is a verb. The definition would be persuade someone to do something by sustained coaxing or flattery. It's like, oh, come on, please do this for me. That's what we say by cajoling somebody. So in a sentence, it will read, he hoped to cajole her into selling him her house. Next word, cajolery is a noun, which means coaxing or flattery intended to persuade someone to do something. In a sentence, it would read, she uses cajolery, deception and manipulation to get what she wants. Next, calculable is an adjective, which means able to be measured or assess. So in a sentence, it will read, the conversion of mass into energy affects stars in a calculable fashion. Next, calculus is a noun, which is defined as a particular method or system of calculation or reasoning. In a sentence, it would read, the necessary conditions for optimality were derived by calculus of variations. I think all science students would know what calculus means. Let's move on. Callosity is a noun, which means a thickened and hardened part of the skin like a callus. Normally you get it on your fingers or on your toes. So in a sentence, it would read, one of the distinctive features of this family is the presence of small callosities on the feet. Next word is callow, an adjective. The definition would be of a young person, inexperienced and immature. In a sentence, it would read, they were a group of earnest and callow undergraduates. Calorie. Most of you would know what this means. It's a noun. The definition would be the energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree C. In a sentence, it will read, the calories in the foods you eat and the beverages you drink each day play a role in your weight and health status. I think you would agree on that. Next is calumny. It's a noun, which means the definition, the making of false and defamatory statements about someone in order to damage their reputation and slander. So in a sentence, it would read, it was a bitter struggle marked by calumny and litigation. Next, cameo is a noun, which means a short descriptive literary sketch which neatly encapsulates someone or something. Encapsulates means it captures completely how a person is. So, in a sentence it will read, it is a cameo of street life. Next, easy. Campaign is a noun, which means a series of military operations intended to achieve a goal confined to a particular area or involving a specified type of fighting. So, in a sentence it will read, is it a desert campaign? Next, cannery is an adjective which means a bright yellow color resembling the plumage of a canary. In a sentence it will read, villas painted in canary yellow. Next, candid. You can say cannery or cannery. Both are alright for this word. Next, candid. Candid is an adjective which means truthful and straightforward, frank. In a sentence it will read, his responses were remarkably candid. That brings us to the end of this lesson. So before we wrap up, let's enjoy the lighter side of the English language. Since we are on the world map, and let's check out an interesting and strange bit of trivia about our world. Did you know, though Mount Everest lays claim to be the highest altitude in mountains, Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is the closest to the moon. Isn't that fascinating? Geography and history have always fascinated me. On a lighter note, what did the triangle say to the circle? Yes, you heard me right. What did the triangle say to the circle? You are pointless. That was a little joke to bring a smile on your face. Thank you for being with me in this lesson. I hope you join me for the next, lesson 2. If you like this lesson, please share it with your friends. Do send me your suggestions, comments and feedback. I look forward to you. Till then, keep smiling, keep shining. Bye for now.